everyone, and welcome to this lecture. My name is Bea, and today we're going to look at some interesting words, some grammar words. These words are must, have to, mustn't, had to, must have, and can't have. What's the difference between these expressions? Do you know? If not, let's have a look, and we are going to find out. Also, at the end of this lecture, we're going to check if you have understood the differences between these phrases and grammar expressions. So let's start by looking at must. The word must, used in present tense, can be used for two different functions. One of these functions is to talk about obligation. Obligation is something to do with rules that were created by other people, or rules that you have created for yourself. For example, I have two sentences here. I must do my homework and I have to do my homework. Both sentences are in the present tense, but what's the difference between these two sentences? So for I must do my homework, this suggests that I personally think this is an important thing for me to do, and this is my rule that I have created for myself. So therefore, I must do my homework suggests that I think this is important for me and I am choosing to do this for myself. I have to do my homework, on the other hand, suggests that this comes from an external authority, so probably my teacher. My teacher tells me that it's necessary for me to do my homework. So this construction does not suggest that I think it's important. It just suggests that this is a rule that I have to follow. The negative sentence, I mustn't be late for class, suggests a rule that exists about not being late. So I mustn't be late for class means it is not permitted for me to be late for class. Now let's have a look at must, used for a different purpose. Must can also be used to talk about probability in the present. And my two sentences here that I have, for example, I'm looking for my phone and I can say, oh, my phone must be in my bag. Or I could say, oh, actually, my phone can't be in my bag. Both of these sentences speculate about something. This is a very strong speculation about the location of my phone. So if I say my phone must be in my bag, that means I'm pretty sure that my phone is in my bag. The opposite, interestingly, of must be is not mustn't be, but for speculation, the opposite of must be is can't be. So when I say my phone can't be in my bag, that means I'm pretty sure that my phone is not in my bag. So it's a very interesting concept how for this function we are not using mustn't as a negative for must. So remember, the opposite of it must be in my bag will be it can't be in my bag. I don't think this is possible. So just to sum up, we have looked at must in the present, and we have looked at using must for two different functions. One of these functions is to describe obligation, in other words, to describe rules. So for present tense, we have two choices. We can use must, or we can replace must with another word, which is have to express an external rule, a rule that doesn't come from our decision, but a rule that comes from somebody else's decision. And also remember that the negative form of must and have to in the present for obligation we can only use mustn't. So the negative form of you must do your homework will be you mustn't do your homework. Very strange sentence, but that would suggest it's a rule that no one is allowed to do their homework. And you have to, or I have to do my homework, which is a positive sentence. It's not possible to say I don't have to have the exact opposite of this sentence. In this case, the negative of I have to do this would be I mustn't do this. So only the mustn't form exists for the negatives for obligation. If we look at our second function, the second category, which describes possibility in the present, we said that the positive form is must be. So, for example, my phone must be in my bag. And remember that the negative, the opposite meaning for this is not mustn't be, but actually we use the form it can't be to say I'm pretty sure that this is not the case. So what about the form don't have to? When do we use don't have to, and does it have a very strong or a very soft meaning? So, for example, in the case of I have to do my homework, we have said this is the same as must. It shows a very, very strong rule, a very strong obligation. If I say the sentence, I don't have to do my homework, that has got a very, very soft meaning now. I don't have to means if I want to do my homework, it's fine. If I don't want to do my homework, that's also okay. So in this case, I have a choice. Therefore, don't have to, I don't have to, or he doesn't have to is not used for obligation or strong rules. It is used to show that people have a choice in something. So now let's have a look at what happens in the past tense. My present tense sentences for obligation, where I must do my homework or I have to do my homework, how can I say these sentences in the past tense? So there is only one form that exists. Instead of saying I must do my homework in the present tense, if I want to use this in the past tense, I will say I had to do my homework. Instead of saying I have to do my homework in the present tense, I will use the same I had to do my homework for the past form. So it's interesting and notice that must does not have a past form in this situation for the function of obligation. Our only option is to use had to instead of must and have to in the present. What about the negative? You mustn't use a calculator in the exam, for example. This is a present tense. How can I change this to the past? Instead of saying you mustn't use a calculator, which is for present tense, we will need to say I was not allowed to, or he was not allowed to use a calculator in the exam. So was not allowed to and were not allowed to are used in the past instead of the present form of mustn't. What about didn't have to? Didn't have to is the past form of don't have to. So as we have discussed earlier, I don't have to do my homework means that I have a choice and I can decide if I want to do my homework or if I don't want to do my homework. It's exactly the same in the past tense. I didn't have to do my homework actually means it was not necessary for me to do it. I had the decision, I had the choice whether I wanted to do it or not. Now let's have a look at using must in the past tense for our second function, which was probability. And my sentence previously for present tense for probability was that, for example, if I'm looking for my phone and I can't find it, someone can tell me, oh, your phone must be in your bag, so it must be in your bag. How can I use the past tense for this structure? So the past tense will be your phone must have been in your bag, which means that I'm pretty sure, almost certain, that your phone was in your bag. So the meaning of must have is that I am certain about something, and I am certain about something that happened in the past, or I'm certain about something in the past. So your phone must have been in your bag means that I am sure your phone was in your bag. What about the negative structure? In the present, we said it can't be in your bag. Your phone can't be in your bag, which means I am certain that your phone is not in your bag. The past form of this will be it can't have been in your bag, which means that I am certain about something that was not true in the past. Your phone can't have been in your bag because I saw it on the kitchen table, for example. So the meaning of can't have been is that I am certain about something, and I am certain that something was not possible in the past, or that thing did not happen in the past. Let's have a look at the summary of using must for two different functions in the past, using must for obligation and using must for possibility. For obligation, we are using had to in the positive form instead of must. It doesn't exist in the past. For the negative meaning, we are using was not allowed to or were not allowed to. In terms of the function possibility, we are using must have plus past participle form of the verb for a positive structure, and can't have plus past participle form of the verb for the negative structure. So must have been, must have seen, must have finished, or the negative structure can't have been, can't have seen, or can't have finished. Now let's have a look at some example sentences, some situations, and see if you can choose the correct forms, either present tense or past tense forms of the varieties of must for obligation and possibility. A situation is here. I've got two sentences. I want to pass this exam, and I think it's really important for me to study hard. So what would you put in this sentence? If you have said, I must study hard, that is the correct answer. It shows that this is your own rule that you have set for yourself and that you think that it is important. Let's have a look at my second sentence here. All students at my school are told to wear a uniform. So what should we use in this situation? We have to wear a uniform. The correct answer is we have to wear a uniform because this is a rule that comes from an external authority, not from us. Therefore, we do not need to use must in this situation. We can use have to show that this is a rule that comes from an external authority. Okay, so my next example is that at my school, students can wear any color shoes they like. it is not necessary to wear black shoes. So what would we need to use in this sentence to make it correct? So if you have said that we do not have to wear black shoes, that is the correct answer. Well done. It's an expression that we use to show that we have a choice in this matter, and this is present tense, of course. My next situation here is that I have a friend who starts work at 9 o'clock. Now it's 10 o'clock, so I am pretty sure that he's at work now. So this is about the present tense. Which structure shall we use? So if you have said he must be at work, well done, because this is about possibility, probability. I am pretty certain, so it's a strong possibility. So I need to use the structure he must be at work now. Or now let's have a look at this situation. It's Saturday today. My friend never works on Saturdays. So I am pretty sure that he is not at work. So in this sentence, we need to say he can't be at work, because this is about present possibility, and this is about me being certain about something that cannot be happening. So it's the negative equivalent of must be. So he can't be at work because he doesn't work on Saturdays. Okay, how about this sentence here? At school, it was compulsory for us to wear a uniform. So what structure shall we use to complete our sentence? Remember, this is past tense. So the correct form for this would be, at school we had to wear a uniform. Must is not possible. Okay, so I have another situation. My next situation is that I am trying to phone my friend. My friend is not answering his phone. So I am pretty certain that actually he has fallen asleep. So what structure should we use for this sentence? If you have said he must have fallen asleep, well done. This is about a strong possibility in the past. Therefore, we are using must have plus past participle form. And my last situation here is that I actually remember putting my phone in my bag at the station. So I am pretty sure that actually I did not leave my phone at the station. So what structure shall we use to complete our sentence for this situation? If you have said I can't have left my phone at the station, well done. This is the negative form of must have, which refers to the past, and as you probably remember very well, can't have is followed by the past participle of the verb, so I can't have left my phone at the station. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope this has helped you a little bit with your English grammar. Keep working hard, and I'll see you soon.